It's all you, you, you. The more you think of yourself, what can I get? How much can I gain? What should I wear? What should I eat? What should I do? I. The more karma comes to you. We cannot avoid karma already accrued, but we can avoid the new ones by not doing anything for our sake, by always feeling. Everything is being done through me by God. I am not doing anything for selfish purposes. I am doing everything for the sake of others, for the benefit of humanity, in the name of God. That way, all your actions become selfless service, karma yoga. You do not create any new karma that way. You cannot exhaust all the accrued karma in one lifetime. You come only with what you can burn out in this life. When that is over, another group of karmas will come and you will be given another birth. Until all of it is exhausted, you will take on bodies. If you are lucky enough not to create any new karma, one day everything will be exhausted. There is one way that it all can be burnt. All past, present, and future karma. That is when you totally put yourself into the hands of God and say, I am not the doer. I have not done anything. It is all you, you, you. You do whatever you want. It's not even my past karma. I made a mistake in thinking it was mine. I know it is all yours. I simply put the label mine on it, so I'm suffering. Now I realize no action and no reaction was ever mine. That is the ultimate realization. When you realize this, you rise above all the karma. You feel that you are not doing anything and that you have never done anything. It's true. We have never done anything ourselves. We have no capacity to do anything ourselves. It is God who does everything. So don't ever say, I did it, that's mine, I earned it. Instead, God, it is all you. Even the thought is yours. The energy is yours, functioning through this instrument. Nothing belongs to me. I am thine. All is thine. Thy will be done. If we realize that, and if we live up to it, then no karma will ever bother us. We don't need to worry about anything. It's a daily reading written by Sri Swami Satchidananda. The chewing is extra. It's the golden present. Each day provides a new reading. It's highly recommended. I know it talks about God, and it's also a book about yoga, so it's based on the Hindu tradition. It does talk about God in the Hindu tradition, and it has a separate meaning from a lot of what you think about in terms of gods in the Hindu tradition or in the yoga tradition. I have Hanuman there, Ganesh there. Right here is Krishna and Radha and Krishna. I'm sorry, Corey. So I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about meditation and mindfulness as it relates to some of what has just been said there. And I may repeat these videos and give some feedback as far as what I feel from this. This is a very good one. Probably one of the best ones that maybe I'll ever read. The idea of karma and the idea of God really being the actor. If you can let go of ego-driven mindset, this idea that you must have this outcome that you expect, and start to see yourself as part of the universe. If you want to take the words God in this reading out and just say the universe or that which is, that works. If you start to think about yourself as a separate individual, that's perfectly okay. But you are part of the universe, part of the whole. And this universality helps to remind you that there is a connection between yourself and others, between yourself and other animals, other people, other things. I mean, we're connected to our cell phones, we're connected to our computers and cameras, we're connected to the walls, to all the atoms that are around us. This pencil is part of the universe. It's part of God, as it talks about in here. And honestly, that's not just a belief. It's not a religious belief. It could be. I'm not really talking to that. What I'm talking to is the idea of that which is. And if we attach ourselves to concepts, then we suffer. I must have that thing. I mean, we can even cry over not getting the relationship that we thought we had or could get if we just kept trying hard enough. And it is a constant struggle to come back to the idea of I'm part of the universe, I'm part of God, I'm part of everything that is, and to sit with that quietly. So, in essence, that is a return to mindfulness. That is a kind of grandiose view of what mindfulness is. So that is something to work on with yourself, in sessions with me if you have them, or excuse me, just in your daily life, you know, with your loved ones, with your boss, with reading that you do. But of course, one of the things that I often speak with people about is meditating. And almost everyone has an ego-based view of meditation, which is natural. You know, I'm a bad meditator. I need to be able to relax and just clear my mind. I never relax, and I understand that. I certainly am not very good at relaxing either, especially when I drink the coffee out of the big mug, you know. That's better. So, meditation, taking it seriously and taking it as if you have to relax, you have to meet that end goal. It's exactly what this is talking about. The idea of I must do this. You don't need anything. You don't do anything, really. You are in service to that which is. You are a universal customer service rep. And if you can start to think of meditation in that way, and taking this, I need to relax and shut down these thoughts. I understand that you want to feel better. sitting through the storm. That's often what meditation is truly described as, sitting through whatever comes. That is your job as a customer service rep of the universe when you're meditating, is to just simply be there with whatever's there. Your mind will process through thoughts that it has been sitting and waiting for you to take the time to sift through. And many of them you're not aware of. Remember that 3 to 5% of our thoughts are conscious. The rest are not. And that's what the chatter comes from. Those unprocessed thoughts. That's why it's important in any day to recognize, hey, I suppressed this rage toward my boss, or irritation toward my spouse or my child or this person on the street or this customer. And to remember to process through it so that when you're in meditation, that isn't one of the things that's coming up. Now, of course, it is separate from what it mentions in this passage about karma. That's a much bigger and more belief-based concept that, frankly, it's just not worth discussing here, even though it is an important part of this liberation that he is talking about here, and that it takes multiple lifetimes and such. So that's something to delve in on your own. Here, I'm seeing this from the idea of attachment to outcome. I often talk about that. This idea that I must have it this way or I won't be happy. You know, if I can get that thing or that person to believe something or do what I want, then I can be happy. And meditation just allows you to sit there with what is. And if it's happiness and joy, that's there. You focus your mind on your breath, a single thing, or nothing, letting go of all thought. And that in itself is like a mantra or a single thing to focus on. Just being, you know. And anything that you feel that comes up, anything you think that comes up, anything that happens or you feel like you need to do is okay. It feels like it's an interruption or that I'm not doing my job. Your job is to allow yourself to come back to that breath or the mantra or whatever it is that you're choosing, and let go of the idea that you're not going to think a bunch of things. Allow yourself to do and be whatever you need to at that moment internally to be. And believe it or not, that is your need. If it's coming up, it's a need for you to experience that. And you're not aware of why, that's fine. Allow it to move down the stream. Leaf on a stream. Let it go down. That's thought, thinking. You start thinking about a lost love and it's disturbing. You feel a lot of emotion. Let it be by just saying to yourself, thinking. And allowing yourself to let that go down the stream and let go of that thought. Returning to your mantra, your breath, in, out, or through your nose, you know, whatever you're doing. Or, you know, maybe it's peace or Om Mani Padme Hum or anything you want. So, meditation is just sitting through whatever comes. And if it's not a pleasant experience, it isn't. Allowing yourself to return back to finding that still point, which is beyond happy and sad and enraged or comforted. It is simply being beyond all the concepts, letting go of those concepts, and liberating yourself from the suffering that he talks about. I must have this. I'm doing it. Be a customer service rep for the universe and allow yourself to let go. And if that allowance isn't happening today, okay, allow that and move to the next thing. Breathing, focusing back on that single point that you are choosing to have as your meditation point. And of course, that could be a specific thing that you want to process as well. And that's a discussion for another video. Right now, just letting go of all those things and focusing in on one thing, thinking, or just my leg is feeling, yes, I'm wearing shorts. my leg is feeling numb, so I needed to move. So I'm feeling, right? A physical sensation is coming up. So just identifying it, feeling, and moving back to that present moment mantra, that breath, whatever you're doing. That is how to meditate. And there's no good or bad meditation. There just is what is. And if you can't tolerate it anymore, you've had enough, okay, be done with it. Move on. Allow yourself to do the things you want to do in that day, that you feel you need to do, even though, you're doing it in the service of the universe. Remind yourself of that as often as you can. And if you can, from this point on, work and operate from the idea that you don't have an identity other than being in service, good. I think that's a noble goal. It's not one I've attained. It's one that I keep coming back to as often as I can, hopefully more than I did yesterday, more than I did last year or 10 years ago. So that's all there is. And go with peace.